Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of Fca Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Daily news and updates for 3rd February 2025. After delivering significant relief to the middle class on personal income tax and customs tariff rationalisation, the centre is likely to make a renewed push for revamping the goods and services tax structure to make it simpler to implement and comply with. The centre is likely to take up the issue of simplification and rationalisation with the group of ministers mandated to examine the rates. Currently, the 5% slab has about 21% of all the items under GST. The 12% tax is levied on 19% of items, the 18% slab on 44% of the items, and the highest 28% on 3% of the items. The Reserve Bank of India is expected to cut interest rates for the first time in nearly 5 years due to easing inflation concerns. A majority of financial institutions believe the new Monetary Policy Committee under Governor Sanjay Malhotra will vote to reduce the repo rate by 25 basis points to 6.25%. Streamlining international taxation and expansion of safe harbour rules for global capability centres in India will stimulate growth of the sector that is projected to cross $100 billion in revenues by 2030. Transfer pricing process is set to get thrust following the budget announcement of adopting a block period approach of 3 years for arm's length tax pricing. This will provide greater regulatory certainty and reduce litigation, one of the longest pending and most sticky issues for multinationals concerning their technology captive centers in India. The budget measure essentially will allow GCCs to arrive at a transfer pricing rate in the first year through an internal assessment, which will continue for the next 2 years, giving relief to potential disputes between MNCs and the government in finalizing a rate. India Inc. is weighing the impact of American President Donald Trump's first volley of tariffs unleashed on Saturday. The president has signed orders to impose steep tariffs on imports from Mexico, Canada, and China. This amounts to a 25% additional tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico and a 10% additional tariff on shipments from China. Energy resources from Canada will have a lower tariff of 10%. Retaliatory measures followed almost immediately, with Canada announcing a 25% tariff and Mexico also threatening tariff and non-tariff measures. China is planning to challenge it at the World Trade Organization. In a bid to provide a boost to Gujarat's gift city, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced several measures to further incentivize investment in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's pet project. The incentives doled out in the Union Budget include a slew of incentives aimed at promoting investment, employment, and offshore funding at GIFT's International Financial Services Centre or IFSC. To increase offshore funds relocation to IFSC, the government has proposed to extend the existing relocation regime to exchange-traded funds which track popular market indices such as the Sensex and Nifty, and retail schemes which are willing to relocate from offshore locations such as Mauritius and Singapore to Gift City. Budget 2025 has put an obligation on reporting entities like banks, crypto exchanges, etc. to furnish information on transactions of crypto assets on a regular basis for both past and future periods. Moreover, the definition of virtual digital asset or VDA was also amended to include any article using crypto-like technology. These amendments will take effect from first day of April 2026, said Memorandum to Budget 2025. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.